Hey everyone, I'm Shawn of WebPianoTeacher.com. How are you doing today? We're going to do a Jackson Browne song. It's called Rebel Jesus. This is what it sounds like. All right, and there's a little more we'll do as well after that. Well, Jackson Browne. I have to credit all my wonderful members for getting me into Jackson Browne's music. When I first started, Jackson Browne stuff, I thought, what's the big deal? It's kind of good. It's all right. Then you really get into it and you realize what it is. It's so soothing and it's very simple, but the songs are just very comforting. And it's great stuff. And I never would have gotten into it had it not been for all you wonderful members who do the hard requests and all that. So this is also a hard request, and I wanted to let you know what video this was. So on YouTube, if you'll look for this video right here, can you see that? The guy's name is Steve Acho, or Acho, A-C-H-O, and it's called The Christmas Album, and the YouTube title, I think, is Acoustic Rebel Jesus. And you can find it on YouTube, listen to it, but he is, he just kind of does exactly what Jackson Browne does. The singing's great, the piano playing's great, and it allows for me to hear every note in there, and I can really give you a good arrangement of it. But you'll love this. There are like 40 songs on WebPianoTeacher.com now for Christmas songs for people. So get on there and start learning. The time to learn Christmas songs is not right before Christmas, but way before. Pick 3 or 5 songs that are not too hard, maybe 2 or 3 that are pretty easy, and then you can get a little difficult on the other choices so that you have something to play when the time comes, okay? Don't spend all your time on one terrific hard one that you may not even, quite learn. So, start learning that Christmas music. It's going to be great. All right, let's get to it. Here's the whiteboard I've been doing for actually more than 18. I've been 18 years online, but I was doing it before that with my students. And it works for a lot of people. So you can see what I have here, just the staff behind there and the notation, just writing the letters. We start with a D chord, okay? So a D chord has D, F sharp, A in it, okay? When you're playing any kind of music and you see that, should ring a bell for you now. It's a D chord, D, F sharp, A. There are only so many chords, so once you learn them all, they start making sense to you. When you see them again, left hand's on a D octave. Most piano music will have octave in the left hand. You ever wonder why the left hand has so much trouble maybe playing little scale stuff or whatever? Because it never has to do that. It's mostly just playing octaves. I'm a left-handed person, and my left hand's not good as my right because my left hand never has to play those scales much, sometimes. But so that's why that is. That's why the left hand has trouble more than the right many times, because the right hand has more scale stuff, more arpeggios. F sharp, A, D, E, F sharp. I'm going to use a 4th finger just because that fits my hand. If you want to use a 3-5, you can, but I don't think it's as comfortable as this. A, D, E, F sharp. And the E in there is just an add 9 sound if you want. Okay? So get your fingers locked in that position, A, D, E, F sharp with 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you can play that whole measure. Don't go too fast. As you learn it, you'll find that you start to go faster without realizing it because it's easier. Then you go back and listen to Jackson do it, and it's so much slower, okay? So make sure you keep yourself at a slower tempo. Second measure, F sharp, A, D, E, F sharp. It's the same thing. Okay, so learn the first measure, you got the second one. All right. Then we get to this measure, which you go to a G. Now, how you would notate that is just, you ever seen the chord charts and they look like a fraction, a letter on top of a letter, like a numerator, denominator? So this would be G, would be the denominator, and D would be the numerator, which would be the chord. So you call this a G pedal. It's a D chord over a G bass. Okay, you don't try to reconcile a G and the chord. It's just a pedal note, we call it, because the organs way back, or now too, have pedals, and they would pedal. They would hold a low note while they played stuff on top of it. The end of that measure is different. A, D, A. Notice how I have freedom in my wrist. Let your wrist do that. A lot of you notice I say the same things every time in every lesson. That's because there's just a few things that if you get right, you're going to be a great piano player. And now here an A there. If you want to do an octave, that's okay. I like an octave, but F sharp, A, E, A, D, A, C sharp, A. So that's, you can see the pattern on the top. F sharp, E, D, C sharp, while there's the thumb on the A in between every other note. Again, let your hand be free to move like that. You'll be amazed at how much better you play once you start letting your hand be free and not so stiff. Okay, that's the first line of music. We go to the second line. Starts off the same way, but right here it's different. A, D, A. And you may say, why make that difference, Shawn? Why don't you just write it like it was above? Because I make my livings off of being exactly as much as I can, humanly possible, exactly like when I'm being hired to transcribe. So if they play an A, D, A there, I'm going to write it out. So I go through every measure and give you all those little details. Would it hurt anything if you played it like that? No, but okay, there it is. Now we go to B minor. So a B minor chord has B, D, F sharp. Okay, we're in the key of D, so D is 1. What's B? B is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So minor 6. Okay, so 1 to minor 6. Little theory lesson for you there. All right, so B's in the bass. There's our octave. Right hand, B, D, F sharp. I'm going to use 1, 2, 4 again. B, C sharp, D. So that's the rhythm. 1 and 2 and ba, ba, ba. And then B, D, F sharp, B. Then the left hand is this. We'll get to that. That's a really cool little part right there. But right here, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and. Okay? Now, Jackson wasn't always very clear on his tempos. If he's playing by himself, he'll leave out little half beats sometimes. We all have our things we don't do very well sometimes. And that's his, I think. When he's playing with people, he stays on beat. When he's by himself, he'll drop a little eighth note sometimes. But this guy's right on. But you got to count there, or you'll do that. You'll drop those beats. All right, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and ba 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 ba. Okay, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Now I'm going to scroll up for this next part because this kind of goes together. It goes. And then he da da ba da ba 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 da da na 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 na. It's very catchy. So let's look at it. B, D, G. Once you hit that G, your right hand's going to go B, D, and then G, E, A with 1, 2, 5. When you hit that low A, the right hand goes F sharp, E, D, C sharp, 3, 2, 1, 2. Then when you hit that second A, you go D, C sharp. So it's 4 and 1 and 3 and 4 and. Then we're here. Practice it slow. 4 and. Then we're here 1 and 2. And if you're someone wondering, I wonder if Shawn's done any other Jackson Browne songs. Yes, I have. Thanks to the wonderful members of webpianoteacher.com. They have requested so many Jackson Browne songs. I don't remember how many are on there, but all the really popular ones for sure, and then some others. And some of them are some live versions, really cool. So yes, lots of other Jackson Browne and other stuff. Don't just play Jackson Browne, play other artists that you love. There's tons on there. I've been doing this for 18 years, so there's 18 years of content and growing on the website. $20 a month, man. You can't beat that, can you? All right, so other websites are more expensive than I am, and they have less content. And they don't provide this type of arrangement with someone is sitting down trying to figure out exactly what they're, they just kind of show you chords and say, it's something like this, it's this version. But I try to give you exactly what's on there. All right, so 1 and 2 and 3, 4, and that's all a what chord? A D chord. So it's a D chord. F sharp, E, D, E, F sharp, E, D, A. Okay? So if I go back here and go. you see a dash, that's a note that's held out a little more. Most of the time it's an eighth note. When it's a little short, when it's longer, it'll be a quarter note value. 3 and 4 and if you go, I don't know what the heck a quarter note or an eighth note is, you don't have to know. It's good to know, but you don't have to know in order to be able to play. So, yeah, you really don't. I'm not saying that's not a good knowledge to have, but you don't have to have that to play. You can just sit down and start playing. Okay, so here we're in the verse. Da 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 da. I can't exactly remember the melody here. All right, so D, D, A, D, 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 A. So the left hand takes part in the rhythm of the accompaniment, okay? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So you have some back and forth between left and right. If you are a drummer, this should be just second nature to you. And I always recommend to people who have any trouble with rhythm at all when they're playing piano, play the drums for a little bit. Get yourself a pair of bongos and have fun. Just be creative playing beats while your favorite songs are playing, cranked up on the radio in the house, or the or the CD player, or the computer, or whatever you use today. That'll help you with that rhythm between left and right hand. Guarantee you. Nobody's going to give you the magic words. There's always these YouTube videos that say, "Oh, play your right and left hand together," or make your left and right hand. People think they need to be independent. No, that's the opposite of what you need. You need togetherness. They're already independent. That's why you're having trouble. You need them to work together, and that's what a drummer does. When they feel beats, they don't feel a beat in their left hand and one in the right. They feel it all at the same time. The foot, the both hands, they're feeling all of it together. You see them moving around. They're feeling all those rhythms, and that's why they're so good at rhythms, how they can go up to piano and play these things. So if you just do drums a little bit, you can take part in that and let that technique help you playing your hands together. Not hand independence. You want cooperation. You want to feel it together. So this whole rhythm for this whole D chord, for those two measures, da-da, 1, 2, and 3, and see how it's all a D chord? Now, to tell you the truth, as long as you're on that chord, it doesn't matter if you play exactly what this guy played in a moment of time in one performance. If you want to do it this way, that works for this. I didn't play what was here. I just played the chord. Of course, you can play what's written there, and there it is. All right, but when it gets down to it and you're playing a performance, you can, as long as you're on the chord, it's good. When you're performing, there's a level of doing what you've done, but there's also a level of improvisation as far as rhythms go and what you do within the framework of the chord structure. Right here, it's 1 and 2 and 3, 4. So that's count 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. So a little bit of a weight there. And 2 and 3, 4. All right, so right here, da da da. 3, 4. All right, let's play it all together. So as you're learning this, you might say, how do I learn this first page, Shawn? How do I? Well, take one measure at a time. Don't go on to measure 2 until measure 1. You can give yourself a passing grade, a 70. When you can give yourself a 70 on that measure, then go to the next one, learn that one. Give yourself a 70 on that measure, put them together, and then go to the next measure, do the same thing. Now you can play 4 measures. All right, let's say you get those four measures down pretty good. You can play those all together, all 4 measures in a row, give yourself a 70. Now we have a new starting place. Go to the second line, do the same thing. Work on that line the same way, 1 measure at a time, till you can give yourself a 70 on the whole performance of that second line. Then you attach line 1 to line 2. See how we're building a mansion here, one thing at a time? Do the same thing with the third line. Rinse and repeat. Do it. That's how you learn stuff. That's how you learn anything, really, okay? All right, there's our part 1 video for YouTube. I'll see you on the website. We'll finish the whole thing. Talk to you later.